The managers at Caterpillar's Mossville Engine Center knew that manufacturing high-quality diesel engines wasn't enough to serve its customers. CAT's customers also needed timely delivery of drawings describing the engine's outer shell and connections, such as those for air, fuel, and water, in order to complete their own internal blueprints.
The height a little bit. I think if we put our heads together, we can come up with a design that would accommodate both.
Okay.
With each engine requiring over 60 different drawing layers and each individual drawing taking 5.5 months, the managers at the Engine Center knew that only dramatic improvements would give them the necessary edge over the competition. They set specific goals of reducing the cycle time per drawing by 50%, reducing the cost per drawing by 30%, and most importantly, increasing customer satisfaction. To do this, they turned to a radical new approach to corporate change known as business process reengineering, or reengineering for short. CAT chose reengineering to find innovative, efficient operational methods to replace present workflows. Simply put, reengineering is a set of procedures and an organizational structure for dramatically improving an office or manufacturing process. It emphasizes high goals, creative thinking, and coordinating information technology with plant operations. It requires modular problem solving and company-wide commitments in time and resources. In traditional business, customer needs tend to flow through a company's rigid functional divisions in isolation from each other and often result in inefficient products and services. Reengineering gets departments to work together so that the new workflows often slice right through departmental boundaries, resulting in efficient products and services.
Reengineering is best done when you need to make a major jump, a major leapfrog in the process. Typically, the teams that are launched have fairly dramatic mission statements that tend to take their breath away on day one. How in the world are we going to make a 50% improvement in cycle time or in process steps? When those large mission statement goals are set forward, it requires the team to take some extraordinary steps to get there.
How does CAT approach reengineering? They begin by dividing the whole effort into 5 major procedures: process selection, process mapping, process improvement, process verification, and process implementation.
We've got the PRT meeting next week. I don't know if the guys have gotten the overheads put together yet.
The first of the 5 procedures, process selection, is handled by Caterpillar's management review team. The team includes upper management, department heads, and the full-time reengineering coordinator. The Caterpillar reengineering structure consists of a hierarchy involving the management review team, project review teams, and process teams. All levels are supported by reengineering specialists, known as facilitators, whose main job is to teach and oversee the reengineering process. The reengineering coordinator at Caterpillar's Mossville Engine Division is Steve Dickinson.
My role is as an overall coordinator for process improvement activities within Caterpillar's Engine Division. As such, I'm always out looking for new processes that might benefit from this team approach. I contact managers of a variety of managers in order to determine a process that might be appropriate. So I'm always working up front, trying to develop a consensus of, is this a process that's worthy of putting together these kinds of resources?
The drawings process was one chosen by the management review team for reengineering in their process selection step. The process met the twin criteria of a good chance for success and a high business strategic value. The management review team chose appropriate department heads and coordinators for the project review team, who in turn chose drawing team employee members from departments involved in the drawing process. 2 reengineering facilitators were a part of this team. They initially provided 40 hours of intensive training in reengineering methodology to the 8 employee team members. After the training, the employees began the process mapping step. Here the team started flowcharting, evaluating, and understanding the entire drawing process in relation to customer needs. This included the drawing's information quality and how they were produced.
It's not only passing system to system, but it's crossing organizational lines, and that could lead us back to our original proposal.
Instead of relying on the marketing department to determine customer needs, the drawings team did their own survey. The survey, along with benchmarks derived from competitors' offerings, helped the team set goals for what the finished process should do.
Who do you call when you have a question concerning general dimension drawings?
The survey, benchmarking, and flow charting showed where the present process was inadequate. The drawings team used value analysis, among other analytical tools, to help find and prioritize bottlenecks and inefficient processes. Value analysis is a method for testing parts of a workflow to see if they are really necessary for the end product.
The foundation to what we did was the process mapping. We actually pulled people into the team from different areas within engine division. And we mapped out every step on both a macro and a micro basis on what happens in the process. And that was the fundamental foundation to being able to determine those areas where we have bottlenecks, we have redundancies, areas that we could target for potential simplification activities.
In the third step, process improvement, team members learned several problem-solving techniques, such as breaking down the overall workflow into more manageable modules to find the remedies.
When you take the problem on that is this large, you really don't know how to approach it. But when you break that large problem down into its micro elements, after a while, those elements don't seem to be so difficult. And the team realizes that they can take on the individual elements, resolve them, and after a while, the macro problem has disappeared.
In step 4, process verification, the drawings team analyzed the recommendations for potential problems. They learned to anticipate and develop contingency plans for potential implementation problems. The team reported to management and gained support for their new remedies piece by piece. As each remedy was approved by the management review team, it set the stage for the fifth and final step of process implementation. This step includes implementing the remedy and monitoring its results. These repeated adjustments continued until most of the list of recommendations were approved and carried out.
By changing the process to where one group is accountable for the entire process, we can now facilitate, communicate needs to all the people that contribute, but one group has central point accountability or focus. Feedback from customers is that not only the accuracy of our drawings, but the timeliness of the drawings have went from being 18 months late to where we're now within a month or two of first production on iron, which is really the target that the group set when we put the mission statement together.
Other recommendations were carried out. Faster computers, more laser printers, and other new equipment were provided for the drawing department to increase productivity. Managers began using work scheduling spreadsheet software to measure performance, monitor workloads, and track jobs, which greatly increased department efficiency. The drawing department was linked to CAT's internal computer network, giving them faster access to information. An online bulletin board service was set up for customers to provide more timely drawing updates. But the ultimate results of CAT's re-engineering of the drawing process went far beyond the team's goals and wildest expectations. Cycle time per drawing was reduced not by their goal of 50%, but rather by 73%. And cost per drawing was reduced not by 30%, but by 59%. The success of the Caterpillar Drawings team gives insights into why re-engineering yields such dramatic results. The resulting improvements are process and customer-oriented, not fitted into a rigid existing structure of departmental functions. Cooperation between suppliers, customers, and company departments increases. Use of the latest information technology is highly encouraged. Retraining employees to be decision makers and ongoing process improvers brings the true experts, the employees involved in the process, to the redesign. Finally, Caterpillar's money spent in re-engineering was a capital improvement. It sowed the seeds for ongoing process improvement. Re-engineering can build flexible, fast, new information and production processes that enable companies to anticipate and meet changing market conditions.